People, how you guys doing on this Monday night? I'm going to do a little different video than I normally do. This is based solely on the fact that this is the NFL and it's not about sports memorabilia. It's about sports in general. And I've been thinking about this a lot since last night when David and I spent basically our entire stream talking about football and the NFL playoffs. So I think that the current format of the NFL playoffs has some massive flaws because of the way that they seed everything, right? So in the current system of the playoffs, there are 7 teams, right? The winner of the conference gets the bye, and then everybody else just plays accordingly, right? The number 2 plays the 7, 2 plays the 7, 3 plays the 6, 4 and 5 then play together, right? Well, in the NFC right now, the 2 second and third best teams in the NFC by record are the 49ers and the Rams. They are both 12-5, and they have a better schedule than every team or better record than every team that's ranked above them in the playoff seeding. So that can create a scenario where the number 1 seed actually gets a harder walk to the playoffs than the number 2 seed. I understand they get a bye. I understand that they get all their games at home, and home field advantage in the playoffs is definitely a big thing. But with most of these teams, none of them really have playoff experience. A couple of them do, but there's not a whole lot of teams that have been with quarterbacks, with their whole systems in the playoffs a lot for the last few years. I think really the only 2 teams up there, or 3 teams, are the Rams, the 49ers, and the Eagles, right? So the Seahawks get the bye. The number 2 seed, the Bears, then play Green Bay, right? That's the way it is. But then the Eagles play the 49ers, and the Carolina Panthers then play the Rams. The Carolina Panthers have a losing record and are hosting, the 12-5 Rams. So let's just play this scenario out, right? So let's say that by some miracle, the Carolina Panthers beat the Rams and the 49ers beat the Eagles, right? So that means that the 49ers, who is a 6th-ranked team, will then play Seattle in the divisional round. And the 49ers are the 3rd best team in the division, whereas the Bears, who are the number 2 seed, could theoretically play the 8-9 Carolina Panthers in their second round. So the second place team is the only team from this scenario that can basically play a lower ranked seeded team. I don't think there's a way no, there is. Is there? Yeah. If all the higher ranked seeds win, then Seattle would play Carolina. But that scenario is really unlikely. And yes, I understand they get a week off, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't have the number 2 seed have the possibility of playing the number 4 seed, and that team is worse than the 5 seed. Like, that just doesn't really sit well. And I think that they really need to change the system in the format of the playoffs so that the teams, yes, if you win your division, you're into the playoffs, and that's the way that the system is set up. But I think that then the playoff bracket just needs to be, all right, whoever the best ranked team is the number 1 seed, the number 2 team is the 2 seed, the 3 seed, so on and so forth. And the worst team is then the lower seed. Because it creates a scenario where Seattle will have to go through will have to play their first game against the 49ers, right? And then they'd have to potentially play the Rams. They could play the Bears. They could play the Eagles. It's a very unlikely scenario that the number 1 team in the NFC will play the 4th-ranked team, the divisional champions of the NFC South, and that team has a losing record. I know that home field advantage is a thing. I know that having a bye is a big thing, but it does create these scenarios. And, that being said, and if you look at the AFC, the only way that the New England Patriots can ever face the Buffalo Bills, who are a wild card team, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they're the 6th seed. I think they're the 6th seed. Yeah. the only way that the Patriots can play the Buffalo Bills is if they play together in the AFC Championship game. That means that the number one team in the AFC theoretically has to play the Bills. The Broncos could theoretically play the Bills, and the Patriots could get an easier second round game than the Bills get, or than the Broncos get, and that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I know that this is a kind of a one-off scenario. It's not always the case, but it's in both conferences right now that the 5 and 6 seed are better teams than teams ranked above them. And that just creates a massive flaw in the system. And I don't think that the number one team should ever have the theoretical possibility of playing a better team than in the second round than the second ranked team does. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Quick little video. Thought you guys would enjoy it. Love to hear your comments. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys later. Peace.